You see, as soon as I pull this up, there's that shifter. There's the holes for this shifter. And this pigtail is not the same pigtail. See, this is a little more wider and narrower, whereas this one is narrower and taller. But yeah, I mean, you see, it's got the receptacle built in for it, so it would sit there like that. See, now that looks like it's supposed to be in a luxury vehicle. See, like I said, it's got the 4 bolts, right? Just fits in there like a glove, like it was meant to be in there. I just need that pigtail so I can put this wire into this shifter. Somebody help me out with this little 99-cent part at a junkyard. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm recording this in my truck because I forgot to record an intro to the video you're about to see. I'm on a Facebook group, many Facebook groups, that wanted to know how to swap a 2015 or up Dodge Charger automatic shifter into their 2015 and newer Chrysler 300s. The Chrysler 300s come with the rotary shift, and the Dodge Charger and Challenger came with the T-handle shift. And I get a million questions as to what do we need to do when they see pictures of my build on Facebook. So I'm going to walk you through that video. So with all that out of the way, enjoy the video. If you like this kind of garbage, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, even if you don't like it, if you hate it, you absolutely think it's disgusting, I want to know about it. And if you do like it, of course, share this video with your friends, and anybody that's doing this build can do it to their Chrysler 300s. Alright, now with all that out of the way, let's begin. I still got to get that pigtail, and then I can put that T-handle shifter in here from the Charger. Got my pigtail. Had to drive all the way to New Orleans to get it. But there it is. Told you it was nothing but a $10 part. So I just got to depin this, and when I pull this out here, give me a second, it just comes right out. See right there? This one right here. All I gotta do is depin this and put those wires into this plug. I mean, look, all the colors and everything, it's all the same, just different locations. But pin this one and bolt the shifter in. Look, all my hardware is already there. I'll have a T-shifter tonight. Okay, so we're working on putting the shifter in the Chrysler. Finally. It's been a while. I was able to finally find the pigtail. I got this out of a 2016 Charger. You want to depin it. Get you a depinning kit, and be very careful and just kind of depin the wires. You don't need these wires, but it's nice to know where these wires came from, just in case you damage one coming out of here. But yep, now we got it all depinned. next thing I'm going to do is take this shifter out. It's relatively easy. I just pulled the coin thing out so I can get my hand up underneath it and pull straight up without using any trim tools. And it is dirty in here, but I'm going to clean it. And this is why you need to find the pin, because we're going to use these wires and put in that connector, but we need to take this connector out. I interject in here one time, hopefully it'll be the last time. Before you unplug anything and you take that shifter out, unplug the battery in the trunk. Disconnect the ground wire, lay it off to the side, because, ask me how I know, when you start depinning that shifter plug and those wires make contact, it's going to screw everything up, and you're going to have all kinds of heartache trying to reprogram, trace back, figure out why you're getting check engine lights for transmission control module not connected, or transmission control module low power. Trust me, before you do anything, unplug the battery. Okay, back to the video. So I try to do everything one-handed. It never works really well. Or you can give me one of those helmet-mounted cameras. So slide the red security tab back, mash and pull. That's it. So here's this, right? And as you can see, this is the pigtail for the other shifter. It's nowhere near it. But anyway, we got it out. Now, if you want to do it, I do not condone it, but if you want to cut and splice instead of depinning, that's all on you. That's on you, brother. You can do that. But if you ever want to revert it back to stock one day, I suggest depinning and taking it apart. And that's where you can save everything, and you could put it back the way it was if you didn't like it, or you want to sell it, or whatever. I'm going to get some wipes and clean all this gunk out of here after I take a few sips of coffee. Alright, I got my first part of the leads through. I'll put a picture of the diagram up where you guys can see it. I don't know if I can set my camera. There we go. Well, sort of. Yeah, it might work. So, like I said, this, you gotta fish it through the back piece of this connector first, and then now that I know where this ground goes, actually I gotta look that up. I think the ground goes right here, but you just slide it in until it locks. Yep, so now it's all about putting the correct wire in the correct hole. Put it in, and I know you can't hear nothing, but maybe you can hear it. Slide it in until you hear the correct snap and click. Listen here, I don't know if you hear that or not. There we go. Now, you don't want any check engine lights or anything like that, so just make sure you put the wiring in the correct hole here. Click. So I'm having to twist the pin just a tad bit because it's the same connector, but they rest in the previous connector in a different orientation. And here, click. There it goes. Last one. There it is. Slide the keeper back in. See what I mean? There you go. There it is. Now the pigtail's wired out of a Challenger or Charger. It's the same thing. So now we're ready to grab the shifter and bolt it in. And if you're wondering what wire goes where, you'll see that there's a number here. There's 5, 10, 1, and 6. So which means, you know, where my finger's at. Oh, hold on, maybe I can grab a tool here. Let's see here. Let me make it easier for you guys. There we go. Okay. Zoom in some more. Okay. So there's, like I said, there's number 5, and this bottom row is number 10. So in row 1 is going to be the yellow wire with the red lead, and pin number 1. Pin number 2 is going to be the white wire with the orange lead. Pin number 3 is going to be the white wire with the brown lead. And pin number 4 is going to be the gray wire. Pin number 5 is going to be the yellow solid wire. And then it skips down to pin number 10, which is going to be the black wire, and that'll be your ground. And that's how you pin this up. I'll post a picture. I don't know if it'll be full screen or not, maybe half the screen, but I'll post a picture to where these corresponding pins are. But again, you can also refer back to this video. But if you're really smart like I did, when you take this out of a junkyard or your scrap vehicle or your donor, wherever it is, cut it back to where my finger's at when you cut it out of the car, and you can take pictures and just do one wire at a time. Kind of similar, something similar to what I did. But anyway, now that we got the pigtail, the Chrysler actually has the holes and screws ready to go. You could buy the screws from Dodge. They're like almost $3 a piece. Or you can go to your local hardware store and get your own bolts, like I did here. Now, you're asking me what kind of bolts these are. Well, I'm glad you asked. These are, unfortunately, the factory actually has the same bolts, but the hex cap is a lot smaller. It's like an 8mm versus this 10mm. But you may do what you got, right? Or if you're doing everything from a donor vehicle, then you'll obviously grab your bolts with the shifter that you pull out. But these are M6 by 1 by 35. And you need the flange hex cap. That's why it looks like this. It's got that little flange on it, like a washer's made on it. M6 by 1 by 35. Now I have stripped this down. I took the original boot off. All you got to do is pull it all the way up, pull this screw out. There's a couple of tangs on this, and slide it down. And you can because this bolt holds this shifter on this shaft. So take that bolt out. You can slide the shifter off. Unplug this, because this wire goes to all this lighting, and turn around and slide this down off of this, and you can take the boot, because the leather boot is wrapped around this around this beige connector, like that. In fact, I'm probably going to take it off anyway, because I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do as far as a new shifter boot for this console, because I don't want to use the Dodge Charger trim piece in here. So anyway, so let's get this bad boy in there. I'm gonna do. You need some major editing later, but can't seem to do everything one-handed. There it is. And slide the security tang up. There it is. Now all I gotta do is put it in here. Now again, this is the Charger center console, or the Challenger. Well, the Challenger is a little different, but I had an excess amount of wire, so if you're careful, you can just kind of tuck it in behind the center console there. But because this wasn't made to hook down here, this was made to hook way up here where my hand's at, so it gives you a lot of wire. A lot of wire is a good thing. So there we go, and it fits right in. So now I can drop my screws down into the holes there, and grab me a 10mm socket and secure it in place, just like that. And then I'm going to use my original trim. See what I mean? Pops right off. I'm going to use my original trim so everything matches, right? So let me finish putting these bolts in, and we'll go from there. Alright, got all this wired up. I told you I was going to do something special with the boot. So this is out. T-shifter is in, bolts are in, wiring harness is in, and this is my shifter boot. It's a cheap little $12 cheaper shifter boot from AutoZone. I hate it, but can you see I took that ring off, slid that ring off, and tucked the leather behind the ring and bolted it back in, very similar to what factory did. So, and I used my bolts that the shifter bolts to, the trim, and I use that to secure this boot for right now. So I'm gonna plug it back up and crank the car up and go for a test drive. Old shifter is out. New T-handle shifter is in, and it works too. Crank it up. Shut the door. Look at there. See, park, reversal, neutral drive. Park. Reverse. Reverse. Cars moving. Drive. Drive is in. Drive 1. Now I should be able to shift it to manual. And it's in 1. Yeah, I knew I wouldn't have done with interjecting. Okay, you just seen me pull that shifter over into M on the shifter, which is manual plus and minus. But you seen on the dash it was still L, because mine's a Chrysler 300 Touring, has an L. The 300S has an S on the rotary shifter. So that's what that is. I did not program the ECU or anything, so you don't need to do any kind of programming. Now the reason why I stayed this way and the manual, it really doesn't do anything except puts it into the sport mode, right? I haven't figured out. Somebody has figured it out, but I haven't figured it out. You can go into in Alpha OBD, and you could tell the body control module what transmission shifter you selected, but it doesn't work on mine. I don't know why. It's a 21, but whatever. But I'm not too worried about it because I installed the paddle shifters from from the Chryslers, the Chargers and Challengers with the paddle shifters. Now that you do need alpha OBD, you do need to go into the body control module, and you do need to tell it that you have paddle shifters. So there's your manual shifting on the transmission right there. There's your plus, there's your minus. So you don't need to shift up and down. It's just a little quirk. I haven't figured out anywhere else past that quirk. And please, if you figured it out, comment down below. I can really use some help on that. And then I can make an updated video. But yeah, just know that, because you remember it had park, reverse, neutral drive, and L or S. That's where that slide shifter is. So honestly, you really don't, if you're just doing the shifter swap by itself, you don't need to do any reprogramming. Just know that because you're going into, it'll always just go into S or L and automatically upshift and downshift accordingly. Again, mine's a V6 touring model. So back to the video. It won't do it unless I'm driving, but yep, there's manual mode. Back to drive. Drive one. Neutral. Drive. Reverse. Neutral. And if I push my safety features, oh, that's right, I turned them off. I ain't turned them back on yet because I did a reset, but it's all working. So yeah, there we go. And of course, nothing says man driving the car than his hand just resting on the shifter. Now I got a place to put my hand. That makes me feel good. Now the only reason my hand's here is because, well, I'm still driving. So, yep. That feels good. That feels comfortable. Oh, massive pothole. It's New Orleans for you. You'll lose your oil pan in some of these places. So, we're gonna do something here. I like the boot. Boot looks great. It's just a cheap $12 boot, though. That's the thing. It's cheap, looks cheap, feels cheap. It's cheap. My thing too is this big, huge gap in here. Because I mean, you can even see it right there. Because where we use the screws to attach this. I ordered something off the old Jungle site. Let's see if this works. I think it would make my daddy proud. I got this shift boot. This is the shift boot for a 06 to 012 Ford Mustang. But I liked it because it was rectangular and it gave me some extra material. The only issue is here is this is big and fat, so we'll see what happens. I think it might still work though. Let me grab my Torx screwdriver so I can take this out right here. That little Torx screw right there. Like I said, I tucked this behind there. And you can see back here, you see it's already ripping anyway, but you see I just put those screws in there just to have something. So we'll take this back apart and we will go from there. It's hot. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's a Friday. And it's hot. It's like 97 degrees out here. So, let's see what we can do. Okay, we got the shifter out and everything, so that's kind of what we're going for here. If we tuck this up in here like this, actually, the shifter's parked, so we probably want this way. Again, this is for a stick shift out of a Mustang, so yeah, that looks pretty decent. Now, like I said, this is the shifter, and has to have this plug. It won't work without the plug. But let's see what would happen if I took this off and see this right here. It's just two tangs right there. There's a tang right there and a tang right there. It kind of helps. It's hard to do it on camera, but get you a screwdriver and push that in, while at the same time you coming over here on the other side and pushing that other tang in. They gotta both be pushed in at the same time for this ring to release, and then we'll go from here. I might be able to do the same thing, glue this on the inside of this ring. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so now move that out of the way, and I slide this ring up like that. You see where I had it all tucked in. So we'll slide that out. Slide this POS boot off. There we go. And I have this chrome ring, and I like to keep that chrome ring exposed. There we go. And that's where it sits. Okay, so we got this little bit of groove here. What would happen if I stuck that in there like that? Let's see. I mean, I knew it looked a little fat, but it's not terrible. Question is, will it accept the slide on? Let's see here. That actually fits pretty good with the chrome ring out, so I may run it like way. I mean, there's nothing in this car that's chrome anyway, other than right here. So I think that would work. Let me rotate this, because you see it has to fully seat. So without that ring, the actual Ford O-ring, it's got like a rubber O-ring in there that holds this fake leather vinyl boot together like that. So, and then of course if this goes on like that, so I think that would work. That works a whole lot better, actually. That's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is grab me a razor blade or something and cut along this ring. Gives me a lot of material. And then we're going to take this, and I'm going to again spray contact adhesive all through here. I'm going to grind this off. I'm going to mask this up real good. I'm going to mask it so we don't get any spray on anything. And then we'll attach that rubber boot. I think that'll do it. And it'll look good. It'll look factory too. As you can see, I turn around and grab my Dremel, and I proceeded to sand a lot of that out of there. Well, just kind of rough it up, right? That's where when I spray that contact adhesive, it'll stay on and have something to adhere to. Alright, back in the car, and I think that turned out pretty damn good. I got a little glue right there, but that'll come off. It's a little bit of acetone. But, yep. I'm gonna mount it on in here, and let's see what it looks like. Now tell me that don't look better than that. So we get rid of the junk one. Yeah, there we go. So I dare you to point out the Ford Mustang part in the Chrysler 300. Yes, sir. I think that